Good evening, everybody. This is the Haitian Free Thinkers radio show. My name is Reggie, joined by my co-host James, and you are listening to the Haitian Free Thinkers radio show, which comes on as of now every Saturday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Haitian Free Thinkers is one of the world's few places where Haitian atheists, agnostics, etc., can gather, exchange ideas. We work off of Facebook. We are a group on Facebook, so you can find us on Facebook. We also have an Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, and of course this Blog Talk Radio show. So we are underway, and let's jump right in. So how are you, James?
I'm doing fine.
Yes, sir. I'm doing good too. I just saw a movie called World War Z with Brad Pitt. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, I did. Never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yes, the wife had me take a look at it, so it was pretty interesting. I don't know how much you know about it, so we're going to kind of discuss it after you watch it, but it was very good.
Okay.
She's into, like, zombies. She's a big fan of The Walking Dead, and
I'm currently watching the marathon of that right now.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I love that show.
Great okay. Show. Yeah, I just started getting into it, and I really like it as well. And what season are you on? What show?
Well, I'm actually waiting on the 5th season to start.
Oh, okay. So you're all caught up.
Yeah, I'm all caught up.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so for everybody who's out there listening, the guest calling number is 646-652-4442. Once again, the guest calling number is 646-652-4442. And if the show ends, you can listen to the archive show on Blog Talk Radio. I did apply for an iTunes, I guess, show or address, RSS feed, so that we can be on iTunes. I have not been able to search and find our show when I search for it, but it does list it as one of my shows that I subscribe to, so that's pretty strange. I don't know if it's on my end, but I did apply for it, so you should be able to get it on iTunes now or soon. And if you have any questions, concerns, you can email us at HaitianFREEThinkers@gmail.com. Once again, that's HaitianFREEThinkers@gmail.com. Also, you can give us a call at 678-820-9474. That is our Google Voice number. Once again, that's 678-820-9474. That way that we're trying to cover all the bases so that we can be visible, I guess, to everybody and anybody. We're trying to put material out there for those who may not know that there are Haitians who are non-religious, and I'm constantly trying to think of new ideas and new topics to put out there, especially in Creole, which I've been struggling with. But eventually it's going to work out. So anyway, so how was your week?
Went by fast, man. It's like regular. These weeks go by fast.
Yeah, it goes by so fast, and it's like the only question is which week has been the fastest, you know?
Yeah, right. The same way.
Yeah, so nothing of note.
No, man, I just been just regular, man, just hanging out with my sons, you know, doing things, and next thing you know, the week is gone by.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Myself, the week did go by fast as well. Let me see here. As far as the news and religious tip, I listen to National Public Radio, NPR, in the morning on my way to work, and they always have interesting stories from around the world. In relation to our show, one of the things that came up was Nigeria. Nigeria is having some issues right now with several things, but the one that caught my ear was about this group called Boko Haram, and they are a Muslim group that's keeping they're causing issues apparently in the northern states of Nigeria. Nigeria has some provinces or states just like we do in the U.S., and they have a few cities, kind of like on lockdown, and supposedly they're trying to establish an Islamic state, etc. And they're doing all kinds of crazy things, and basically it's almost like a straight mini civil war. But the president is trying to put a squash on it. However, one thing that the regular Nigerian authorities or the government have in common with Boko Haram is that they are both anti-gay, because they have passed at least one law basically outlawing homosexuality, unfortunately, and of course those Boko Haram guys, they are totally anti-gay. They have their own little police squad that actually go out and hunt down people who are suspected of being homosexual. They give them a little trial, but they have Sharia law running over there. And I've never heard anybody say anything positive about Sharia law. But, if you're not, part of the program, then, things can end up really bad for you. And obviously, Islam is not exactly known for being kind to homosexuals. So I saw a video of people talking about that situation, and it makes me very sad. And because I think that's an issue that can be easily solved. I think there's a lot of issues that we have as a human species. I'm sure Nigeria has a lot of other things that they need to worry about. They just shouldn't be going after people like that because of something that they're into. It doesn't pose a threat to the public, but you can't convince that to the religious people, because they point to the Quran as their source of inspiration, of course, and that should be no surprise. And I don't know if you know, James, but did you know that the Quran has the story of Lot and basically Sodom and Gomorrah?
No, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, the Quran and the Bible share, I would say.
Yeah, they share a lot of similar stories.
I would say 70 to 85%.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. It's like the Quran is just like the Bible for the Muslims. I mean, well, it is, but it's almost exactly the same thing. But didn't Islam come after Christianity?
Yes.
So I could see how they could, manufacture, a religion, we're gonna make this same story guy and everything like that, but we're gonna put a little Muslim spin on it, basically,
Yes.
Same story, a lot of the same things. We're just gonna put a little Muslim spin on it to make it say what we wanted to say.
Yes. Islam did come after Christianity, about 700 years or so after. That is when Muhammad was born and, did his thing, and the rest is history, as they say. However, the Muslims will contend that Islam is not the youngest religion of the three Abrahamic religions, because they claim that it was the original religion, but that's a whole different topic. Mm-hmm. But for the purposes of our show, I've been watching some YouTube videos, and I think I mentioned before how there seems to be a growing presence of Islam in Haiti. So today I made a video on the Haitian FREE Thinkers YouTube channel, basically saying, hey, these are my thoughts on Islam. And I also invited anybody who's Haitian to come and discuss why they think that Islam is beneficial to Haiti, etc. But also, there's a gentleman that joined Haitian Free Thinkers who does some blogging, and he's Muslim, and he's Haitian. He was born in New York, so hopefully I could get in contact with him and we can chop game and discuss that whole situation. Why do you think? I mean, people in Haiti. I'm talking about people in Haiti specifically. Why would they turn to Islam at this point, in your opinion?
It's similar to when people feel like there's no hope, or when they feel like there's hopeless. They feel like if their God's not going to work out for them, but we're going to try another God. Something where they feel like the people don't really want to take blame or responsibility for their own actions. So they have to find something to blame or somebody to put their hope and trust in. It's not my fault that I didn't succeed. It has to be some kind of reason. It has to be part of a more divine plan that I didn't make it. It's always like looking for an scapegoat, something. Need hope, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that seems to be one of the main reasons why people are becoming Muslim. Because I saw a video with a lady who lost her husband in the earthquake, and she was like into Islam because it gave her, I guess, discipline and everything. But I think it gives her like something to busy her mind, so that she doesn't have to think about the horrible events that happened to her family. And I mean, I can sympathize about that. Like, I want people to be okay. I want them to I mean, it's very difficult to give her back her husband. But my thing is that if Haiti was 100% Muslim back in January of 2010, the very same thing would have happened.
Exactly.
More than likely, the same number of people would have died, and that's it. Islam does nothing about earthquakes. It doesn't prevent anything, as far as I know. Do you know something that I don't?
Not at all.
You still have to cope with the same issues.
Exactly.
If I were to talk to the organizers of the Islamic movement in Haiti, I would say that why aren't we focused on things that really matter? And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I just don't think that Islam does anything in the real world, from my perspective, to help the people. If they want hope, like how do you give people hope without religion? I mean, is that even possible?
It's possible, but a person will have to change their way of thinking, because a lot of people associate, like healing and all that. They associate all that great healing and stuff like that with a deity, something that they believe in that's going to take something outside of them, is going to take away the pain, or something outside of them is really controlling the whole situation,
Okay. Well,
a lot of people, it's hard to make people understand that, the same, power, energy, and all that right there that you doing or that you think that's on the outside of you is actually on the inside. You just have to dig deep, and find out what you want to do and why you're doing it, and find your inspiration and motivation and to do it.
Yes, and I think that's very true. But I really want to find out from their perspective, how they think things would have been different had, they've been Muslim back then. Because Muslims still, have a lot of issues all around the world, including in Nigeria. Syria has lots of Muslims, and they're having issues. Egypt had issues with their situation. Afghanistan is at war still. Iran is Muslim, but they don't like the kind of Muslim that the Iraqis are, and so they've been having beef for a minute. So, I mean, those are the kind of things that I would ask the Haitian converts and be like, what's so sexy about Islam?
I remember, I think I said it before on the show, one thing about religion, it doesn't have like a self-checking mechanism. You know, it doesn't. It's like nobody within is going to be like, maybe what we're believing is kind of wrong. Or maybe we should, really check this out and see if we really agree with this. With a lot of things. Like it's like no self-checking mechanism. It's just like whatever you feel like, that's what that scripture's telling you. That's what it is, and it's most of the time it's what somebody told you what that scripture means, not what your own understanding or own opinion.
Well, if you are listening live, you can call in at 646-652-4442. Once again, that's 646-652-4442. This is the Haitian Free Thinkers radio show. My name is Reggie. I'm joined by James, and this is News and Views, show number, I think we're on show number 15 right now. And like I told you earlier, our magical ride has ended with the 2-hour shows. We will be going back to the 30-minute format, which includes about 15 minutes of bonus time, which should be plenty of time. And we'll be moving the show to Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. soon, starting in March. So the first Sunday of March is March 2nd. I already programmed the show for Sunday morning, March 2nd. So everybody, we are officially moving to Sunday morning. That way that we can have more people listen to the show and hopefully call in. I think that the video that I made earlier will eventually get some traffic because of the tags. Usually, like on YouTube, you get like a lot of hits for certain topics, and that's one of them. Now, I try to be as polite as possible, but there's still going to be some people who may, take offense. And for some reason, like, would you agree that the Muslim seems to be the most sensitive out of?
Wait, you talk about out of all the religions?
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't gotten in contact with every single religion in the world, but from the ones I know that are active and people talk about, I think the Muslims are like the most sensitive overall, no matter where you go.
I actually have a call of like, could you please hold on for a minute?
Oh, sure, I got you. All right, so yeah, I have had some positive interactions with some Muslims. However, we know there are others out there who are a little bit more aggressive or sensitive, but it is what it is. The video was... I'm here?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm back.
Okay. Yes, so the question is, do you think that the Muslims, from your experience, are the most sensitive of the religious people that you've met?
From what I've met, since I've came out and, and been an atheist, whatever, I haven't really met any Muslims and gotten in any debates with, actually. Because where I'm from, it's like, like this Florida, the South, and especially the city where I'm from, it's not, there is a mosque, but I don't really come in contact with any Muslims per se. But as far as, like, from meeting a bunch of Muslims back in my day or whatever, I would say they're pretty much the same, bro, like almost, really. Now, I would say Muslims are more prone to becoming radical, I would say.
And what is your definition of radical, and why do you think they're more prone to be that way?
Okay, I'm talking about call to action, like they will actually, like, they will go to war and plot things, like this. There's a lot, they can be labeled and they've done terrorist things in the United States, basically, Like, you don't hear really any Christians saying, I'm doing this for, well, you know what, I can't say that because the same people who've assassinated abortion doctors. So you could kind of say they're almost 50-50.
Okay.
Because
Well,
because I don't see the difference in a Christian killing an abortion doctor and a person getting in a plane and crashing it into a building. I don't see the difference in it. It's basically doing the same thing for the religion, or what they feel their religion is saying to them.
yes, they do have a lot of similarities, like we discussed in the uh, story of Sodom and Gomorrah. And what I would like to ask any Muslim is basically if some people are misrepresenting the religion, like Boko Haram might be, or some of the other groups that we know of, what groups of Muslims are there or out there verbally, basically trying to challenge that perception? Because I know they are out there. Maybe they're not getting the support from the main media, but if there's stuff online, I would like to seek it. And on this show, anyway, I'll give them the airtime, and I'll talk about them. I'll listen to them, and I'll watch videos. But I am not sure if I am going to find one Muslim group that officially says via their religion that killing homosexuals and harassing them is forbidden religiously, because it's actually in the book. So
Man, I've seen videos of these black guys, and they were Christians, and they were on one side of a fence, and they were, I guess, talking to some lesbian women, and they were basically telling these women, I'm going to rape you. The Bible says I can rape you, and you're going to like it. You're going to love to like it.
I'm guessing these are the Hebrew Israelites?
You know what? They probably were. They probably were Hebrew Israelites, because they was like right there in these women's face telling me what you're doing is a sin, it's an abomination, and I'm going to rape you, and the Bible says I can rape you, and you're going to like it. Like, it was like crazy to me.
Yeah, I think I've seen the video, and they're probably Hebrew Israelites. I just looked up gay imam, and there is one black guy, older guy, heavy set. He is a gay imam in Washington, D.C. So I know about him. I don't know if you ever heard about him. His name is Dai Abdullah, and I'm going to go to his Wikipedia and see how he squares that circle. But, so he's one person who would try to make some kind of suggestion that, it's okay to be gay, perhaps because he's gay. But if he goes to Saudi Arabia...
Oh, you mean he's a gay imam?
He is a gay imam, yes, sir.
Wow. I mean, how, like, he's not dead or nothing? Like, he makes videos and everything?
He's not dead because he lives in the United States.
Okay, because I would say another country, yeah, like, wow.
Let me read an excerpt from Wikipedia. It says, Abdullah was a board member of the Round Table of the Al-Fatiha Foundation for several years. Subsequently, from 2011 to 2012, he served as part of the Queer Muslim Working Group, which evolved into the Muslim Alliance for Sexual and Gender Diversity in 2013. Abdullah has also served on the planning team for LGBT Muslim retreats since 2011. In D.C., he is the Imam and Religious Director of Masjid An-Nur al-Islah, the co-director of Muslims for Progressive Values. He also holds a position in Oslo, Norway at Skjev Verden Gay World. The Imam has helped organize many parades and marches in honor of those who wish to explore their freedom of discrimination in the United States. He attempted to create a gay masjid in Washington, D.C., but it failed because there was much fear over what the community would do to those caught attending. Later in 2011, he helped create a mosque for everyone who wanted to attend in a public library in D.C. The plan is to raise funds to create a mosque of their own where all are free to worship. Since 2000, Abdullah has provided specialized counseling services for Muslims from a wide spectrum of Muslim religious backgrounds and cultural Muslim religious and cultural backgrounds. So apparently there are some progressive type organizations, but as you can see, there's a lot of fear involved. And what I'd like to find out is how he's basically making this connection. And I guess it talks about this. And if I go into it, I'll find some things. But whether he has some grounding in the Quran or the Hadith, or what are some of the other writings that they have, whatever. The point is that not everybody shares his perspective. And if he goes to, even in Washington, D.C., he has fear, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because you said because of a fear of what might happen to the people that may attend. And people, a lot of people who possibly may be gay, they may be not out of the closet yet, so if they go to his mosque, then they'll be perceived as gay, and I can see how they will be harassed.
That's correct. And so that whole Islam is a religion of peace thing, it's laughable because of this whole situation. You know what I'm saying? And whenever you get in a jam, heads are not going to come in and look out, because they're going to be like, yo, son, you know who this kid is? He's the imam, the gay imam. And you're like, so we're supposed to help everybody. No, you're not, Negro. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They're going to start probably slapping them, hitting them across the head, like, why stop going to that guy's church? He's an abomination. After that, next thing, nobody will be coming.
Yeah, man. So anyway, so the connection with Haiti is that, so like I said, there's a lot of things going on over there. They're setting up mosques. They're setting up schools. They have the girls wearing the abaya, the niqab.
Whenever people or something tragic happen to people, there's always going to be like people trying to take over and take advantage of it. Vultures, man.
Now, a lot of people are saying that, but the Muslim converts are saying, well, they're not, obviously they're not seeing it from that perspective, but they're saying that, well, we have a long history with Islam in Haiti. The gentleman that joined Haitian Free Thinkers wrote a piece that I read saying essentially that Bookman, who was the leader of I don't want to say the leader of the slave rebellion, but he was the one that supposedly had a big part.
He did the ceremony to get the slaves to revolt, basically. That's what they say. He performed the voodoo ceremony. So, are they trying to say he was Muslim?
Yeah, they're saying that he was Muslim.
How would he, it doesn't make sense to me, how would he be Muslim but at the same time lead a voodoo ceremony, basically doing what Muslim people are against, dealing with, demons and things like that. So why would you, do a ceremony, a voodoo ceremony if you're a Muslim, to get the slaves to revolt? Well, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, according to the article, which I'm going to try to find for you, according to what I read that the gentleman wrote, he gave the impression that Bookman was very, what's the term I should use here, very accepting of the different religious backgrounds of his fellow slaves. And they was like, yeah, you know what, let's team up so that we can do this common thing, which is to overthrow the colonial masters, right? So
still doesn't make sense to me.
So he was very accommodating, right? And I thought about the same thing that you just brought up. Like that doesn't seem like the Muslims that I know. Let me backtrack. You can meet cool Muslims. You can even meet a Muslim who's obviously, in the case of Dai Abdullah, he's an imam and he's gay, right? Mm. And there's gay Christians, there's gay pastors, and all kinds of things. How the people behave and what their religion says, a lot of times is two different things. If the religion says that, for example, you're not supposed to tolerate idolaters or people who are different from you as far as religion is concerned, then this is the kind of thing that I'm actually talking about. In Islam, although they've had times where they've gotten along with people of different religions, the religions that they are somewhat okay with being coexisting with are their brother religions, which is Christianity and Judaism.
It still doesn't sound right to me, because if a Muslim is a Muslim, if he causes something to reaction, especially something as big as a slave revolt, he is going to want his God to get that praise. It doesn't make sense to me. He's going to try to convert the people to being Muslim, then do a revolt, and then say, "Yo, Allah got. He's the one who did this." He's not going to be. And when you do a voodoo ceremony, nobody could just say, "Hey, I'm a voodoo priest," and do a voodoo ceremony. Even the way when you drew, because I've read on some of the stuff, the way the symbols and all that right there, depending on how good you were as a voodoo practitioner, determine how good you can even draw the symbols. And the better you drew the symbol, the better the ceremony would go. And people would know how good you were as a voodoo priest by how well you drew the symbol.
Well, according to the gentleman, Bookman was not just a regular Muslim, but he was an imam. So that's still I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe he's biased. I don't see how a Muslim is going to start a slave revolt with using voodoo. And, well, that's the thing. That's the thing. He claims that he didn't use voodoo. He was just happened to be there with other voodoo practitioners. But I think the article will give you some insight of how he paints the picture. But it's ironically, it's not the first time I've heard this. I've heard that he got the name Bookman, Bookman in the English, because he was a literate man, and he was literate because he was captured from Africa, already a learned person in, I guess, Arabic, so that he can read his Quran.
I read the same story. They were saying because of the books that he read on black magic, that's why he was named Dirty Bookman.
So we have all these conflicting historical accounts. And something? I personally don't care if he was Muslim. My thing is that he supposedly did a great thing to help us get rid of, our oppressors. But let's say for the sake of argument that he was Muslim. My thing is, who cares? Because what does that say about anything? Because when you are in a pinch, right? You need to go ahead and take care of business yourself. So if you're a Muslim, you need to go and, I guess, kill the slave master. Or in the case of Haitians right now, if you're a Muslim, you need to build the infrastructure that's going to keep the next earthquake from happening. We need to plant the food and do all the hard work, because Allah is not going to do anything except to get the credit, So I don't think that's, it means anything if he was Muslim or Vodou, because, if he was a Vodou priest, I'm not saying that, Vodou had anything to do with the rebellion, except that they used it to motivate themselves because they were religious people. So that's my perspective. I want to make sure I let everybody know that we are even-handed, where, the only advantage that I give to Vodou is that at least it's an African thing. It's one of the things that we own. We're not importing religion from Arabia. We're not importing religion from Europe with Catholicism. And so this is the other thing that makes me upset in a way with the Haitian Muslims, is because we always trying to go after somebody else's stuff, yo.
That's you know what, that's why I'm kind of stressed it. Why I'm kind of, it's not like I really care about it, but it just seems like people are trying to rewrite history and just trying to put their own little spin on it to justify what they feel like how things should be going right now. I really care about Haiti becoming a Muslim nation. So I heard this story about this guy and all that right there, and I'm just gonna say he was. I don't know. I'm not gonna just put. I don't know. I just don't like that. When people are like trying to change stories around and make it fit to what they feel like, things should have went. And I don't know. It's just almost like the Bible, how they feel like, oh, the Bible said this right here, so science is wrong, and I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither. So you are listening to the Haitian Free Thinkers radio show. My name is Reggie. My co-host is James, and you can call in at 646-652-4442, 646-652-4442. Hopefully we'll get someone who is Haitian and Muslim to chime in, because I don't want it to seem like we're just jumping on them. But like I said, I just don't see the use of Islam in Haiti. Also, I don't know if you heard about this so-called debate that happened between Ken Ham and Bill Nye.
Yes, I wanted to watch the video. So it was on World Star Hip Hop. I wanted to watch the video, but I didn't have enough time to actually look at it.
I didn't see the debate as well, but if you've been on Haitian Free Thinkers, there's been some pictures that were posted with people holding up these signs, and they're quite hilarious.
Yeah, they have memes and everything out right now.
Yeah, they have all kinds of things out there, and I did not watch the debate or have not seen the recording, but it's probably going to be your same old excuses for why Ken Ham and some Christians are creationists and everything. Now, the reason why I brought up the debate is that I saw somewhere on the internet or maybe on Twitter that I think Richard Dawkins, I might be wrong, but at least one person was like, yo, do not debate, Bill Nye should not have debated Ken Ham. And I wanted to find out what you thought about that, because I have a feeling, based on the things I've been seeing online with Ray Comfort, etc., that they've figured out that there's no such thing as bad publicity. It's like you giving them shine. Yeah. By just mentioning their name, by agreeing to be in the same space, and by addressing them. So what's your opinion on that?
I now that you said that, I can see, because if you look at a lot of the atheist experience videos, when he gets in debates with Christians, he'll even tell you at the end of the debate or whatever, we said my intentions are not to change your ideas at all. My intentions are for people to hear the argument and hear, exactly, give them a different way of thinking about whatever it is the situation is, or give them a different way of thinking about religion. Yes, you're going to argue with me. You're going to debate with me. You're going to tell me everything that you feel, and that's what everybody already agrees upon. But once they hear my side of the argument, they're going to hear a different side, and it may plant a seed. That's all I want to do, is just plant a seed. And at the same time, they're doing the same thing, because the guy's debating a popular science guy who's been on TV since probably before I was even a kid. I remember watching Bill Nye, the Science Guy, and just his name alone, and you're going to debate against him. Well, who are you to debate Bill Nye? Okay, I'm going to hear you debate him, and I may not agree everything with Bill Nye. I may not agree everything with you, but I may, you may plant a seed in my head, like, okay, maybe Jesus was walking around with dinosaurs.
Yeah, I think that's very much correct. Once again, everybody, you're listening to the Haitian Free Thinkers radio show. My name is Reggie. I'm joined by James. The guest calling number is 646-652-4442, 646-652-4442. Our show has been broadcasting every Saturday evening at 11:30 p.m. However, we are going to change that starting on March 2nd, which is the first Sunday of March. We will change our day and time to Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. So be on the lookout for that. But don't worry, you can still catch some old episodes by going to Blog Talk Radio, and it might even be on iTunes. I think it should have gone through by now. But thank you for listening either way. We're talking about the Bill Nye and Ken Ham debate that recently took place. And so now Bill Nye and Ken Ham are like a lot bigger names than we are right now. But like, have you ever taken place in a informal, I guess, debate with anybody yourself?
I have. Me and a friend of mine, my best friend, we was at her friend's house, and her friend's father actually was a preacher.
Okay.
And you know, I basically told her how I felt on religion and everything like that. And she was actually nice enough, and she was listening and everything. But she had another friend came over, you know, and you know, next thing you know, me and him started debating. And this guy was basically it was a big debate, and he kept on telling me God controls my life and all that, and I was trying to tell him no, God doesn't. And yeah, I've been in some debates. Yeah.
Now, that's a great segue into Debate Talk for You, which is a Blog Talk radio show that I've appeared on. And it has become popular because the host, Sal, he gets like people to come on the show to discuss controversial topics, usually of the religious nature. But one of the things that I think is not good in the format that he uses and is very popular with what is called debates is that there's not a resolution. I've taken debate courses a few years ago, almost 10 years ago now in college, and there's always a judge there who tells, you know, one side that they won or one side that they lost. And when you win or when you lose, they actually tell you what it is that you did wrong. Usually it means committing fallacies, it means not answering questions, etc. So when people say debate in the normal sense, what a lot of times that they're just talking about the disputes where you're saying, "Oh, you're ugly," or "No, I'm not." You know what I'm saying? And what's frustrating about the Bill Nye and Ken Ham situation is Bill Nye theoretically could have gave wonderful answers to the questions, but it's like with religion a lot of times it's like a very emotional situation. So it's like the technical answer, like whether or not it's true or not, may not matter to the person. And that's why I've shied away from debating per se. If someone is saying that they want to debate me, I would like to know about the parameters. How would they decide if I did well or not? Because I don't want to just go and kind of waste my time. I want to know if I did well or not. If I lost the debate, which did happen during my debate camp, there was 4 debates that we took part in, me and my partner, and we lost 1 debate. So I don't remember the 3 victories. I only remember the 1 loss, and that's because I lost to 2 females. And yeah, it does sound sexist, but
girl.
yeah, it does sound sexist, but because I was, very confident, and I was, I had a streak. I think that was our second match, but all I remember is that loss. But anyway, so if we're going to have a so-called debate, it means to me that we're going to have a referee. Even though the referee might be religious, that's fine. But if you're going to say, hey, you know what, you lost the debate, tell me where I went wrong, and hopefully there's a transcript so that we can go back, and hopefully I can learn from it and come back and do better, as long as what they're saying is legit. You know what I'm saying? So don't just say, like, yo, you're wrong, and not give anything. So that's the only thing I would say about the debate thing. But yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
One thing I've learned about through debating, especially on Facebook and everything, I've taken debate a lot, not the debate, but I've taken debate.
Okay.
A lot of people, that's what I call it. A lot of people, they know your stand. They've seen you make posts or something like that, and a lot of times they'll say something, knowing that's something that it may be touchy for you or something like that, and and then you'll say something, and it'll turn into something, because like you said, when you do a regular debate, a formal debate, there's a referee and everything like that. But when it's like a regular debate against people, their debate is not like that. To them, it's who looks the best, who looks like they're winning. And even that show, which you were telling me, I think I maybe even heard you do a debate on that show, and it's basically to them it's just like it's like I say, they're looking for that straw man, somebody that's going to go against them, and when they feel like they're passionate and they're going to make all kind of stuff that other people want to hear, they're going to get that amen corner, they're going to get that cheerleader and everybody behind them. Like I've had some friends on my Facebook, I was atheist and all that, and then they'll say something like, hey, I think I feel like changing my religion. Then me take a debate, and I'll just say something. Next thing you know, I have their whole family and all their friends coming to their attention and like, oh, we love you and all this. Come to us, we'll talk to you. And next thing you know, they're unfriendly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like and that's happened. I've noticed that that's happened to me actually about 4 or 5 times. All my friends, and then after like the 4th time, I was like, you know what? Maybe when people are saying something like that, question, bitch, I'm not gonna say nothing because I feel like I'm being used, because I'll say something being passionate, thinking that I'm educating them, and no, actually what I'm doing is giving them, ammunition or whatever it is to get people to be on their side and show them love. They may have done something bad, but now they're on Facebook like thinking they're going to change their religion and stuff. And now everybody's behind them and like, hey, come here, we're going to show you love. Come over, we're going to cook for you, we're going to talk to you, and, we love you and all this other stuff.
That's incredible.
That was the devil working on you, girl. You don't need to talk to him no more. You don't need to be friends with him no more. That was the devil.
Roger. Now, I guess you can just write them, I am them, and find out if it's legit.
You mean like when I talk to them or something like that?
Yeah,
I wouldn't say like, okay, like they purposely were doing that, but that's what has happened.
Right. So I'm asking you, like, would you consider to write them a personal message?
No, some of them I say, hey, we were friends, we go way back, and some of them, have refriended me back, and then we just keep it on the friend level. I won't say anything about religion again, but for the most part, I know that's what it was,
Okay. Well, tonight, I don't know if Tony from Ohio is listening, but if you are, Tony, big shout out to you. It's 19 past midnight, and the other story that caught my attention on NPR was the Vatican, who got reprimanded by a group that did some they did a investigation into the sex abuse scandal, and basically said that the Vatican knew and could have done more, and etc. They also reprimanded them on their stance on the treatment of gay people and the classic stuff. But for me, it's like it's no surprise. But the Vatican is really not going to do anything, and that's because they're a bunch of big ass gangsters.
Yeah.
But at least other people are starting to like build momentum to say, there should be some criminal charges brought up against these people.
More and more, I'm going to say that the Vatican they're going to lose their power more and more. But they have a lot of money, like you said, they got a lot of gangsters and mafia ties and all that right there, and it'll be hard. But after a while, there's going to be enough victims, and they're going to be like, you know what? No, I'm not going to stand for this, and there are going to be some lawsuits and all kinds of stuff like that, because after a while, it doesn't matter what religion. When you're harming children, people have some strong feelings about that, no matter how much money you have.
So, I haven't spoken to a Catholic in a while, but I wonder how they feel knowing that their organization is always being mentioned with pedophilia, and why it is that they continue to support the organization. I don't know what their excuses are, but they probably separate the religion from the people and say that, well, yeah, there's always going to be a bad apple here and there, etc. But even if that's the case, where is the God during the abuse?
Exactly. Like, I've heard some horror stories about Catholic priests and what they've done. Like, I was watching Oprah, where they had like a segment where they were, I think it was like 200 men in the audience, and all of them had been like sexually abused or molested. And these guys, some of these guys were saying some crazy stories, man, like crazy stories. And I was like, wow. And this church is still going, like, surviving. If it hadn't been any other church, man, the whole organization would be shut down, probably.
Man, if there was a group of atheists, any group, big, small, that had repeat offenses of sexual abuse towards children, I think that thing would have got so much heat. People probably would have gone to jail. I don't think atheists have enough money to bail, like pay people off, because of the lawsuits, etc. And of course, we would have never heard the end of it. They're gonna ask us about, like, oh, how do you feel about Group X and how they was, doing whatever to these young boys. Then everything would have been so crystal clear that, it's very unappealing to be associated with something like that. But for some reason, man, religion just gets shielded from a lot of the normal, I guess, criticism. I don't know. It's very disconcerting because, yes, the children are being affected. The adults are being affected because, can you imagine being the parent of a child that got abused, and you're trying to make sure, like, before you go and, hurt somebody, that what they're saying is legit, you trusted these people to care for them, and then you find out that, oh, this priest had a history of abusing kids, but, they covered for him and they moved them into your local area. Now they did it again. Now, keep in mind, man, like, I don't think they appear on those public things where they show the child molesters, like back at home in Florida. I think that they send you stuff in the mail saying, like, yo, you know what, this person over here is like down the block, so beware. Like, I don't think they get anything like that. They just like move in the shadows, kid, and
it's sad.
So that's giving me an idea. I don't know if any group like took the money that they won in a lawsuit and be like, you know what, we're gonna publish like our own directory of pedophile priests, and if that person is is in the area, then not to go to that church. But in my opinion, like, you shouldn't be going to that church in the first place. But I guess that's a whole different topic.
I'm sure there's people that's tried to do that right there, but from what I've heard how the Vatican works, like, the Vatican will send them to the Vatican. They'll be over there just chilling for like maybe a couple of years, and then they'll send them to another church on a different side of the coast, in America, before, like, they have enough money to, I guess, pay the people off or do whatever and get these people to move around so much and so fast to where the law can't even keep up with them.
Yep. So they do have their own network of covering for people who are, criminals. That's what they are. But beyond that, they are having sex with young boys, which is not just pedophilia, but homosexuality, which they are supposedly against. So how do they work that out?
I don't know, man. They just turn a blind eye to it,
Yep, and to the Catholics who are listening or will listen, no matter how you slice this, the God is absent. You know what I'm saying? Yes, right. Perhaps the priest is bad, and perhaps your devil is influencing them, but, the gods do nothing. And to say that, well, we live in a fallen world, all that noise means nothing to the child who's getting torn up. I have kids, you have kids. I find out they're being harmed, I'm gonna probably, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I can't,
I've already accepted the fact if somebody does harm to my kids or something like that. I'm talking about like even George Zimmerman type BS type. But like I've already accepted that, I'm not even gonna really say it because I don't want to incriminate myself, but just know that I have no problem with being incarcerated for the rest of my life for protecting my child or retaliation for anything that's happened to my child. I have no problem, no issue whatsoever.
Now, what you're saying is how a lot of parents feel. So you're not saying anything that's extraordinary. Now, we don't want to have to go to jail. Don't get me wrong. Exactly. We don't want to be incarcerated. We would hope that there's some kind of system that give us the impression that
justice.
Like they're gonna look into it, whatever the case is. I don't feel that with the Catholics. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like I feel like it's automatic that they're gonna get away with it. You know what I'm saying? But
you might as well take the law into your own hands.
Yeah, you might as well. But you're guilty by on default. We're black men and we're atheists. Yep. I can see this working out really negative, but whatever. But if you got the evidence and this is your child, everybody should understand how you go crazy because you know that this is a mafioso type of organization. They're gonna go and do your boy like that. Especially you know what would really make me go like all crazy on them is if I find out that the person had a history.
Exactly. Then I'm going to the Vatican. I'm not staying in the United States. I'm bringing the beat to the front porch. You hear me?
Yeah, man. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, the world is crazy, man, and unfortunately, we try to bring some rational perspective.
But I don't think you can get rational after you tell it hard like that.
Right, but I mean, look, we trying to have some open discussion with people because if you're Catholic, Muslim, or whatever, hopefully you value your children, but it's not always the case. Yeah, go ahead.
That reminds me of something. Did you ever look up the thing when I was telling you about the Muslim children who were like hiding silverware in their clothes at the airports?
You know what?
Did you ever look that up at all?
No, I don't think I had a chance. But you did have something about the beatings. You said.
Yeah, man.
You said that you had there's videos about people beating their kids or something like that. Can you let us know?
There's a new video of a father at the beginning of it. He's you see him. He has a belt around his neck, and then he's sitting down talking to his son. And on the video, it's saying 3 steps of discipline. And step 1, it was saying talking to. And it was a guy was talking to him like, hey, I already spanked you behind, and you got in trouble and all this. So what's going on? You want to be a class clown and all this stuff like that. So I'm going to make you like a class clown. So step 2 was it said take away the swag, which basically means don't like mess up his hair and and all that, and send him to school wearing bummy clothes and everything like that. And I was fine with that. Talking to him, and messing his hair up and stuff like that. Send him to school. If he wanted to be a clown, send him to school just like a clown. I can understand that. But then step 3, it said whoop that ass. And he took the little kid into the room off camera, and like you can hear that belt swinging, you hear that kid screaming, you hear him yelling, and he whooped that kid behind. And I didn't agree with that, and it just boggles my mind. What is the purpose of you recording yourself beating your child or spanking your child and then uploading it on the internet? Or do you think that makes you look like a good parent? No. Like, your child is still being and misbehaving. So what is the good of you recording it and putting it on the internet doing?
Well, this is 2014, so I mean, a lot of things are on the internet right now, including that. And I think I've seen some videos like that, but I'm anxious to see the one that you're talking about in particular. And being Haitians, I grew up in Haiti. I got beatings. I don't think my parents would film it because I don't think that they think on that level because they be in their mode. But obviously, that's something that, like I have to work on because I have the Haitian in me. I have the background. Like I got girls, but like I visually see myself doing some some impulsive things to them, like when they do silly things. Mostly the older one. The little one, she's cute, but she's learning how to get away with murder, and I gotta check her too, you know. But you know, both of my girls are beautiful and cute, but I gotta really like learn how to parent them in a way that it's not violent. And so far, I've been doing really, really good. But I think it's a good point that, you know what, you know, teaching beating kids or beating people or hitting them is like, you know, I wouldn't do that to you, and the reason why I wouldn't do that to you is not just because you're a man and you're my friend or whatever. It's just that I don't have no reason to put my hands on you. So it's like, why not teach the lesson early? You know what I'm saying? So that I've really taken that to heart. But like to put it on the internet is a whole different level. So
yeah, like when my son was like 3, like I spanked him real good. And at the end of it, and it just hit me, you know. And then also too, I was listening to another podcast. I was listening to Black Free Thinkers, and one of their episodes was, and it was about disciplining kids and, you know, corporal punishment and all that, and it made a lot of sense to me, you know. And you know, I'm one of those people. I'll look at a movie and then I hear something, I was like, oh, I could use that in my life, but Morgan Freeman in the movie, it was like he was saying it's easier to beat a child than to just show them love and to talk to them. And I was like, you know, that kind of makes sense. It's much easier to just spank him, you know, and send him on his way or sit him down somewhere than to actually sit down to him and with them and talk to him and be like, you know, this is why you shouldn't do that. You know, it's bigger than what you think, you know. You think I'm just telling you no, but there's a reason why I'm telling you no. You know, I'm protecting you. You know, and I don't know, and I just took it to heart, and I just don't do it to my sons. I just talk to him. Now I will threaten him because his mother will spank him, but all I have to do now it's to the point. It's like he doesn't want to let me down. He doesn't want to make me mad. He doesn't want to make me sad with him. You know, that's how I have it with my son.
I think that's excellent, and you know, it takes a lot of work because it's impulsive for me, and I'm guessing you probably got whoopings growing up too. And cause
man, look, the number one word before I got a whooping was mete.
Yeah.
That was not you come, man. And then sometimes if my auntie or whatever they wanted to be dirty, they would actually sprinkle rice on the ground.
Oh man. Yeah, that's some old school. I think slave stuff, but that's
where that comes from. I think that's where that comes from.
Mete à genoux is Haitian Creole for to get on your knees, and we can have a whole show about that. But it's the beginning of a bad day if you're a kid. So, man, I remember getting in trouble and just the whole anticipation of the parent or whoever getting home. You're like scared because you know something bad is coming your way, and I mean it was rough.
I hated mete à genoux. I hated it with a passion because my knees would hurt, not only from the rice, but then just from the weight being on, then my back, the lower back, because you have to sit up straight and you better not waver or nothing.
Exactly. And I don't know if there's been research done about the origins of it, but I have a pretty good idea that it's from the slavery days. It was meant to humiliate, and you know, they didn't do that to just children. Back in the day, they probably did that to adults in front of everybody, and they got creative with the rice and everything. So it's pretty crazy business. And the thing is, like back in the day in Haiti, like I'm not gonna say that people took pleasure in it, but like, you know, where I come from, other people can whoop you. Like an adult just has that authority, right? In the United States, if somebody touches your child, they go crazy, you know?
Exactly.
So, I don't know, maybe times are changing, maybe not.
I remember my mother, she she came to this country and, you know, she started having American friends and everything, right? So she had a American friend who worked in the school system and everything, and she was like, I don't know what the lady did. Basically, she was always at the school, though. And one day I got in trouble, and my mother told the lady, hey, if he get in trouble, you could whoop his behind. But the lady, she wouldn't spank me. What she would make me do is put my hands on, like, the top of my head and make me do squats. And if I stopped, that's when she would spank me.
Okay, so would if somebody made your sons do the squats, not the spanking, I guess with I don't know if you would give permission, but let's say it was without permission, would you be upset? And you find out they say, well, and instead of spanking him, I made him do squats. How would you feel about that?
If he's at school, well, no, at school you write him up and everything. Like, let me deal with him as far as stuff like that. No, you just write him up, or you call me, and I'll come to the school or do whatever like that. As far as disciplining, no. Nobody. I'm not gonna say nobody can discipline my child with me, but his mother can. But as far as anybody, no. If you have a problem with my son or my child, you give me a call, and I'll come up there and I'll handle the situation. If he's being unruly and all that right there, if you unless he's going overboard and you have to call the cops or something like that, if he's just done something bad, just give me a call, write him up, and we'll handle it when he gets home.
Okay, excellent. I also noticed that you are part of the Nigerian Free Thinkers.
I saw. Yeah, I actually saw that, and I thought that was real cool. And I went ahead and liked that page because if they're Nigerian Free Thinkers, I may get a different perspective, and they may put some stories up on their page or post up stories that I feel may be interesting that's going on in Nigeria.
Yep, and the page is not as active as I would hope it is, but they have 440 members. So I wish them the best. We are now at 38 past midnight, so we're going to wrap up the show. For everybody who was listening, this is the Haitian Free Thinkers radio show. My name is Reggie, and I'm joined by James. The guest calling number is 646-652-4442. Once again, at 646-652-4442. Haitian Free Thinkers is a secular group for Haitians by Haitians. You can find us online on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Gmail account. You can write us at HaitianFREEThinkers@gmail.com. We come on, as of now, every Saturday night at 11:30 p.m., but starting in March next month, we will be broadcasting live at 11 a.m. On Sundays. So be on the lookout for that. So that's pretty much all that we will talk about tonight because it's getting late. But next month we'll have more time. Actually, no, we're going back to the 30-minute format, 30 to 45 minutes. So hopefully we'll get more people. I think some people will be on their way to church, and I have a feeling that that's going to get a little bit more popular. So anything else on your end?
No, I just want to wish everybody a good night.
Yes, so send me the video and the spanking. Check out
the video is actually posted on one of those pages that it's on one of those one of those pages on when they show it's called, I think, Crazy Videos.
Yeah, I think.
And they always post up videos of crazy stuff that's going on. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little ratchet. I like to keep my ear to the streets on ratchet stuff that goes on sometimes.
No. Hey, when we started this show, I said, hey, let's be ourselves. There's information that comes from different perspectives, and it's all good. It's all good. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
So so we'll leave it at that. We'll pick up next Sunday at 11:30 p.m. And just what I do is I keep track of like a little mental note. I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about this in the show,
Okay.
and then I try to look it up. And even if we covered a topic this week that we may not have had the information, I still try to remember and read up on it for like a few minutes. Or if you really don't have time, what I do is I try to look for the video. That's really the shortcut. It gives you the information, and it gives me a little bit of perspective. So,
hey, you know what I want? I'm sorry. I want to talk about the Super Bowl when the Super Bowl that happened that just passed.
Right.
Actually, one of the defender. I actually want to talk about it. We'll save it for this Sunday coming up. But what I want to talk about is actually one of the players. He was talking about he was a defensive person, and they were saying, how come you're so tough? And he was basically talking about his life when he first came from Haiti, and he was saying that, they used to always get beat up and get chased and everything like that. And I wanted to basically, let's talk to maybe some of my people in the group or something like that, and just tell them their experiences when they first came to Haiti. And because I was a first generation born here, and I remember days of weeping, getting chased home, and being called all kind of names and all kinds of stuff just for being Haitian. And I just wanted to see what everybody's experience is different, because as we got older, then they started respecting and liking us,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great idea. In fact, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a Google Hangout.
Okay.
We're going to do a Google Hangout probably next month, middle of next month, and we could talk about that.
Okay.
Basically the experiences coming from Haiti, because there's quite a few members that were born here, but there's some that came from Haiti like me. And I can give the answer, but basically it's what you know. Now, I'm guessing the person who was making the comment is Cliff Averill of the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, he was doing the show, and they was like, man, how come you so tough? And he was like, just growing up, man, being chased every day. He said this guy was telling us, he said he used to fight every day. Like every day he would have to fight or he would get jumped. And they asked him what was one of the baddest times. He said it was so many times he can't even pick which one was the baddest time. That he got jumped or he had to fight.
Damn. Okay, well,
and I have my own experiences, I remember me and my brother getting chased home sometimes off the bus until, our older stepbrothers was like, hey, y'all don't have to put up with that, and y'all not going to put up with that, and y'all going to fight. I don't care when we enjoy, y'all going to fight.
Yo, okay, let's go ahead and touch up on that on the next show. Just remind me, and I will set up the next Google Hangout as well, and we'll discuss that on video. But we're going to wrap it up for now. This is the Haitian Free Thinkers Show. Once again, please join us next Saturday at 11:30 p.m. You can call in at 646-652-4442. If you enjoyed the show and had questions or comments, you can email us at HaitianFREEThinkers@gmail.com. You can also give us a call at 678-820-9474. My name is Reggie. My co-host is James, and we'll catch you next time.
Good night, folks.
Good night.